Mathura Part 2, Mandal, Uttar Pradesh, India.
One day the great scholar Gargamuni, whom all the Yadas had made their chief priest, by his own wish went in Mathura city to the king's palace. There Gargamuni saw Emperor Ugrasena, who was accompanied Akrura, served by Devaka and Kamsa, and surrounded by parasols, awnings, and kamaras as he sat on Indra's great throne. Seeing the sage, the emperor at once rose from his throne, offered respectful obeisances with the Yadavas, placed the sage on the throne, worshipped him, glorified him, circumambulated him, and bowed down before him. Gargamuni blessed the king and asked about the welfare of the king and his associates. Then the saintly sage spoke to powerful and wise Sri Devaka, the best of the Yadavas. Sri Gargamuni said, "After thinking for many days I have decided that in this world no king is better than Vasudeva. Therefore, O king, please give your daughter Devaki in marriage to Vasudeva." After offering, the sage, betel nuts to show his assent, Sri Devaka, who was the best of all pious men, performed the auspicious ceremonies and gave his daughter in marriage to Vasudeva according to Gargamuni's desire. When the marriage ceremony was over, Vasudeva, accompanied by King Devaka's daughter, who was beautiful with gold and jewels, climbed a very graceful decorated chariot drawn by many horses. To please his sister, Kamsa took the reins of the moving horses. Kind and affectionate to Vasudeva, and surrounded by an army, he drove the chariot. Then a voice from the sky said to Kamsa, "You're a fool. You do not know that the eighth son of the girl riding in the chariot you drive, holding the reins, will kill you." Wicked, shameless, merciless Kamsa, whose friends were demons and whose deeds were horrible, threw his sister to the ground, grabbed her by the hair, and grasped a sharp sword in his hand to kill her. The musicians dropped their instruments. They who were in front went to the rear. When all faces turned white, Vasudeva, the best of devotees, spoke to Kamsa. Sri Vasudeva said, "O king of the Bhojas, you are the glory of the Bhoja dynasty. Narakasura, Jarasandha, Bakasura, Vatsasura, and Banasura, who all yearn to fight with you, praise your virtues in battle. Why are you now on the verge of killing with a sword your own sister? Following the royal code of chivalry, you would not fight with Putana, a woman who yearned to fight with you, and to pacify her you treated her as if she were your sister. This girl is your real sister. Why do you wish to act in this way? On this, her festive wedding day, you should be kind to your younger sister and treat her as a daughter. O king of Mathura, you should not kill her. You should fix your heart on removing the sufferings of the distressed." Although given this good instruction, wicked Kamsa, whose friends were demons, did not take it seriously. Then, reflecting on the ways of Lord Hari's time, Vasudeva, now cheerful, again spoke to Kamsa. Sri Vasudeva said, "O Lord, you never need to fear this girl. Hear what the divine voice said. I will give you the sons that frighten you. Don't be afraid of the sons that may be born from her." Hearing and agreeing with Vasudeva's words, Kamsa praised him and then went home. Then, frightened Vasudeva, accompanied by King Devaka's daughter, went to his home. Frightened Vasudeva could not flee, for 10,000 armed soldiers sent by Kamsa surrounded Vasudeva's palace. Vasudeva, who knew the ultimate goal of life, went to Kamsa's assembly and offered his first son Kirtaman. Kamsa said, "This child may go home. I do not fear him. I will kill your eighth son. Of this there is no doubt." Told this, Vasudeva went home with his son. However, he did not think the demon would make his words true. Then Sri Narada Muni came there from the sky. Kamsa bowed before Sri Narada Muni, worshipped him, and asked him about the demigod's plans. Sri Narada Muni said to him, "Learn this from me. O King of Kings, all the Vasas have become the people that have Nanda as their leader. The Suras have become the people that have Vrishabhanu as their leader. A group that has the Vedic hymns as its leader has become Gabis. They are all now on the earth. The Devas have become the Vrishanas headed by Vasudeva, and all the demigoddesses have become their wives, headed by Devaki. Depending on how they are counted, any of Vasudeva's sons can be the eighth one. Any of them can be the one that will kill you. That is the crookedness of the demigods. After Sri Narada Muni had gone, Kamsa became filled with anger at this plan of the demigods to kill the demons. In his heart he decided to kill all the Yadavas. Kamsa tightly bound Vasudeva and Devaki in chains. Then he crushed Devaki's son against a stone surface. Remembering his previous birth, out of his demonic nature and out of fear of Lord Vishnu, he killed each son as it was born. Angry at this, Emperor Ugrasena, who was the master of the Yadavas, stopped Kamsa and helped Vasudeva. Rich with anger, the demonic king of kings Kamsa grabbed his father. The demon dragged him from the royal throne, bound him with ropes, and with his royal friends locked him in a prison cell. Sitting on the throne, Kamsa then personally ruled the opulent kingdoms of the Madhas and Shurasenas. When Yagamaya carried Devaki's seventh fetus, which brought her both joy and grief, to Vraja and placed it in Rohini's womb, the people of Mathura said, "Where did the child go?" Then, in Vraja, after 5 days, in the month of Bhadra, August to September, on the 6th day of the bright fortnight, when Mercury, 5 exalted planets, and the constellation Libra were on the horizon, at midday, as the demigods showered a beautiful rain of flowers and the clouds sprinkled drops of water, Lord Balrama, illuminating Nanda's home with his splendor, was born from Vasudeva's wife, Rohini. Sri Krishna, the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is greater than the greatest, personally entered Vasudeva's heart. When Lord Krishna, who gives fearlessness to everyone, entered Devaki, she shone as if a great lightning flash had entered her home. Seeing her so effulgent, Kamsa became frightened. He said, "Now the destroyer of my life has come. She was not like this before. As soon as he is born I will kill him." Saying this, looking in all directions, and thinking of his former enemy Lord Hari, he became filled with fear. Then the demigods headed by Brahma and the great sages headed by Sri Narada Muni went to Vasudeva's home, bowed down before Lord Krishna, and offered many prayers. At the time of Lord Hari's birth the sky and the 10 directions became very pure. The stars were bright, the earth happy, and the rivers, streams, oceans, and lakes filled with pure waters. The breezes touched spreading their fragrant pollen. 1,000-petal 100-leaf lotuses bloomed everywhere. Bees hummed, colorful birds sang, and fragrant cooling breezes gently blew. The countries became wealthy, the towns and villages auspicious, and the demigods, brahmanas, trees, and cows happy. The drums of the demigods were filled with sounds of victory. Everywhere was great auspiciousness. The Vidyadharas, Gandharvas, Siddhas, Kinnaras, and Karanas sang, and the great demigods offered prayers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The happy Gandharvas and Vidyadharas danced in heaven. The great demigods threw many Parijata, Mandara, Malati, and Sumana flowers, and the clouds thundered and sprinkled water. Then, in the month of Bhadra, August to September, during the 8th Tithi of the dark fortnight, when Mercury, Taurus, and the Rohini star were on the horizon, and the planets were in Harshana Yoga, in the middle of the night, when everything was covered with darkness and the moon was rising, in Vasudeva's palace Lord Hari appeared from Devaki as in the yajna fire appears from the Irani wood. Standing before the Lord in the maternity room, astonished Vasudeva bowed down. Now fearless, with folded hands he glorified the Lord with many prayers. Understanding that handsome and dark Sri Krishna was the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, Devaki, who was equal to all the demigods, bowed before him and spoke. Sri Devaki said, "O Krishna, O Master of countless universes, O Supreme Lord, O Flag of Golokadhamma, O Original Lord, O Master of the Perfect, O Perfect One, O Most Perfect Original Supreme Personality of Godhead, O Supreme Controller, please protect me from Kamsa's atrocities." Hearing this, Lord Krishna, the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, the destroyer of sins, smiled and spoke to Vasudeva and Devaki. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, in the previous creation she was chaste Prishani, who worshipped her husband as if he were a god, and you were Sutapa, who desired to create children. By Brahma's order you both performed great and splendid austerities, fasting from food and drink. When in time the Manvantara had passed, your austerity to attain children continued. Then I became pleased with you and I said, ask a benediction. Hearing this, you both said, may we have a son like you. I said, so be it, and left. Then you became a Prajapati couple. Thinking, no one is like me, I, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, became your son, famous in the world as Sri Prishanagarbha. Then a second time I again became your son as Indra's younger brother Vamana. Now I, the Supreme Lord, greater than the greatest, have again become your son. Take me to Nanda's palace. Don't fear Kamsa. Take Nanda's daughter and you will become happy. Now silent, Lord Hari became invisible and, as an actor does, reappeared as an infant on the ground.
प्राचीन जन्म स्थान वासुदेव देवकी मंदिर।
काल से केशव का जो ईदगाह बना है वहाँ मंदिर था कृष्ण केशव, जिसको सिकंदर लोधी, मोहम्मद गजनवी और लास्ट औरंगजेब ने मंदिर को तोड़ करके और उसी के डस्ट से ईदगाह बना दिया। मंदिर समाप्त हो गया। उसका प्रतिभूत वो हमारे पास मराठा टाइम में पीछे आ गया। अब ऊपर नया केशव के नाम से बना दिया है। जबकि केशव का मंदिर नहीं है, वो कृष्ण का भाई की मूर्ति है, वो नीचे गंगा जी बैठी है। तो गंगा मंदिर था पवित्रता लाने के लिए और मोक्ष को लेने के लिए, क्योंकि हमारा मंदिर था ईदगाह की है। तो केशव का मंदिर तोड़ दिया, उसका केशव तो नीचे आ गया। जहाँ विग्रह होती है वहाँ पूजा होती है। कारागार तो गोपनीय स्थान था, प्रोटेक्ट एरिया। ये गांव मल्लपुरा, कंस के मल्ल रहते थे, तो मल्लों के बीच में ये कारागार का जो रूम था, जो रिपोर्ट में वो स्थान यहाँ था। और इसीलिए यहाँ देव की वजह बिठाई। ये कुंड भी कनेक्ट था, जो कारागार में ही बताते हैं। तो कारागार में तो बताते थे ये हाँ कुंड में जन्म हुआ तो शुद्धिकरण का स्नान होता था। इसका नाम है पोत्रा-कुंड। ये सिंधिया मराठा टाइम में सिंधिया राज में ये जीर्णोद्धार हुआ। ये इसका मंदिर का जीर्णोद्धार हुआ और केशव का हुआ। उसका डिजाइन केशव का नीचे है, देखना भी। तो मतलब मूल जो पहले जन्म स्थान था, 5000 का रिकॉर्ड नहीं, लेकिन चेतन महाप्रभु लिखते हैं अपनी चेतन चरतामृत में कि जन्म स्थाने देखा केशव करेला किया प्रणाम, नाची गाय हंकारी। और बल्लभाचार्य जी औरंगजेब में 1669 1669 में तोड़ा। उससे पहले का रिकॉर्ड यहाँ था कि वो पुराना जो जन्म स्थान केशव का मंदिर था वो यहाँ था। इसीलिए यहाँ देव की वजह बैठाई। तो मूल जो जगह था, ये एरिया पूरा है। तो दिस प्रेजेंट हाउस ऑफ लॉर्ड कृष्णा बॉर्न हियर दिस स्पॉट। तो हमारे महापुरुषों ने जो बताया उसी के अनुसार हम बोल रहे हैं। ये हमने तो बनाया नहीं, हम केशव के भी पुजारी हैं। मैं केशव का आदि केशव का भी पुजारी हूँ और इसका भी हूँ। ये कमेटी बनाया, ये सारी लैंड ठाकुर जी की है। ये श्री कृष्ण जन्मभूमि के नाम से रजिस्टर्ड है। कमेटी बनाया, उन्होंने एक्वायर किया। ये सारी भूमि केशव की है। अब ये है बिरला डालमिया, ये बड़े बड़े पैसे वालों का कृष्ण जन्मस्थान सेवा संघ के नाम से खुल गया। और इसको दफन करते गए, कब्जे कराते गए और सच्चाई छिप गई। हमारा ये प्रयास है कि ये मूल स्थान है, चाहे ये जन्मभूमि हो या नहीं हो, लेकिन पहले जो स्थान था उसकी ऐसी गति क्यों हुई, इसकी जांच हो, इसका वो हो मूल। अजन्मा भगवान प्रकट हुए, हथकड़ी भी खुल गया। तो ये चरण बहुत प्राचीन है। यहाँ से 100 वर्ष पहले, 200 वर्ष पहले यहीं से रिले होता था कि मथुरा में जन्म हो गया। ये रिले सेंटर है क्योंकि जब यहाँ कुछ भी नहीं था तो जन्मभूमि यही थी और यही से ये रिले होता था कि मथुरा में भगवान का जन्म हो गया।
अच्छा,
ये बहुत प्राचीन है, ये शिलालेख यही था, यही स्थापित किया है।
अच्छा,
ये काठमांडू के बहुत बड़े महान भक्त हैं प्रसाद गौतम जी, उनका पुराने स्थानों में इसका लेख दिया हुआ है कि पुराना स्थान ये था। देखा ना, अजन्मा प्रभु का जन्म इसी स्थान पर, ब्रह्मादिक दीप्ता सत्यवतम, ये जन्म के वक्त में जो सत्यवतम सत्यपरम त्रिसत्यम सत्य से योनि नियतम से सत्य सत्य से सत्यवृत सत्यवृत्तम सत्यात्मम त्वाम शरणं प्रपन्नः। ये गीत ले लीजिए, बहुत प्राचीन है।
योग माया ये पर आप बोले थे?
ये योग माया की है,
हाँ,
जो कि इन्हीं को गोद में मिली थी, भगवान गोकुल पहुंच चुके थे।
हाँ,
तो कंस आया, जिसे पता लगा, कंस ने पैर पकड़ के माँ योग माया का खींचा और जमीन पर पटकना चाहा। वैसे हाथ से छूट गई, उड़ी और कहा है जो तू मुझे क्या मारेगा, तुझे मारने वाला ब्रज में पैदा हो चुका। और उसके बाद जा करके वृंदावन में विश्राम किया, पहाड़ पर, वहाँ स्थान बनाना था। देखो इन लोगन की लावन, बूझत नाय हर चरण कमल को, मिथ्या जन्म गंवावे। यह हरदास जी का मतलब उन्हीं की भाषा में
अच्छा,
आए थे स्वयं दर्शन करने। यहाँ देखा कुछ लोग पैर छू रहे हैं भगवान, कुछ नहीं छू रहे, तो उन्होंने पत्थर यहाँ लगवाया था अपनी भाषा।
The word Prakin means old or original and Janmastana means birthplace. This place and is said to be the exact spot where the prison cell of King Kamsa was located and thus the actual place where Lord Krishna was born. The Purjari also showed me the original document, which is on the right. The Prakan Janmastana is also known as Kamsa Karagar, which means Kamsa's prison cell. The Prakan Janmastana is situated in the area known as Malapura, where the wrestlers employed by Kamsa, including Chanura and Mushtaka, used to live. The wrestlers, who were part of the royal bodyguard, given the responsibility to guard Vasudeva and Devaki during their period of imprisonment. The Chaitanya Charitamrita says the Lord Chaitanya also visited Krishna's birthplace before going for darshana of Lord Keshavadeva. The Bhakti Ratnakara also mentions that Raghava Pandita, Srinivasa Pandita and Narottama Dasa also visited the room where Krishna was born during their parikrama of Mathura. It is interesting to note that the site presently advertised as the Janmastana lying at the rear of the Keshava Mandira did not exist at this time. Historical records show that from around the year 1951, when the land containing the ruins of the ancient Keshava Mandira was acquired by the Keshava Mandira Trust for building a new temple, a room in an old basement next to the wall of the mosque was advertised as being the actual site of the Janmastana where Krishna was born. Previous to this, the Prakan Janmastana was the place recognized by everyone as Krishna's birthplace. Gaudiya scholars have concluded that the new Janmastana site behind the recently built Keshava Mandira should be seen as a Smriti Sthala, place of remembrance, while the Prakan Janmastana should be recognized as the actual site of Lord Krishna's birth. After Lord Krishna's birth in the prison cell of Kamsa, it is said that Mother Devaki came to Potra-kunda to bathe and wash clothing. It is said that while filled with ecstatic love, Devaki happily washed Krishna's baby linen, hence the name Potra, which is derived from the word putra, which means son. Some say the Kunda was formerly known as Potra-kunda but was later changed to Potra-kunda.
Potra-kunda.
This Hanuman Temple is on the left side of Potra-kunda and to the right is Prakin Janmastana. The local pujari of this temple was explaining that this was a cave where Vasudeva took Lord Krishna to Gokula from.
अच्छा, आप इसके बारे में क्या बोल रहे थे? ये गुफा है जहाँ पर
गुफा थी इसके अंदर।
अच्छा,
ये सिद्धि है यहाँ से।
अच्छा। और यहाँ से कृष्ण जी को लेकर गए थे गोकुल। अच्छा, राधे राधे। प्राचीन मंदिर श्री केशवदेव जी महाराज।
ये अभी जमा हुआ दिखता है।
हाँ
ना सबको लीजिए, आंगन आ गया तो।
अच्छा।
हाँ भाई।
As Vasudeva was placing the infant in a cradle and was about to depart, Goddess Yagameya was born in Vraja from Nanda's wife. Goddess Yagameya put all the guards to sleep, unfastened the shackles and locks, and opened all the doors. When, his head decorated with Sri Krishna, Vasudeva left, the darkness became at once destroyed, as if the sun had suddenly risen. As the clouds in the sky rained, headed Anantashesha, his great hoods giving protection from the torrents of rain, followed Vasudeva. Filled with great waves and whirlpools and, its shores, filled with lions, snakes, and other wild creatures, the Yamuna, the best of rivers, gave a path to Vasudeva. Entering Nanda's Vraja, he placed the sleeping infant on Yashoda's bed and glanced at Yagameya. Picking up the infant Yagameya, Vasudeva left the house, crossed the Yamuna, entered his prison cell, and became as he had been before. Not knowing whether a son or daughter had been born, exhausted Yashoda Gopi slept in bed with a sleep of bliss. Hearing the sounds of an infant, the guards went to the royal palace and told the warrior Kamsa. Overcome with fear, Kamsa rushed to the maternity room. Weeping like the most wretched person, the chaste sister, Devaki, spoke to her brother, Kamsa. Shri Devaki said, "Now that my sons are dead, please give me this one daughter. Oh brother, it is not right for you to kill a girl. You are kind to they who are miserable. I am your younger sister. You killed my sons and threw me in a prison cell. O noble one, please give this beautiful daughter to me." Bewildered, and her face covered with tears, Devaki pleased and tried to hold the child in her lap. The demon Kamsa rebuked her and grabbed the child. Then the sinful demon Kamsa, the lowest of the Yadavas, his friends all demons, holding his sister's daughter by her feet, threw her against a stone slab. From Kamsa's hand the girl flew into the sky and entered a splendid 100-petal lotus chariot pulled by 1,000 horses. He saw her standing on a splendid chariot moving Kama-uras. Then Goddess Yagameya, served by many attendants, her glorious form splendid as 100 suns, her 8 arms holding weapons, and her voice like thunder, spoke to Kamsa. Sri Yagameya said, "Lord Shri Krishna, the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, is already born. Where is he born? He will kill you. You torture this poor girl in vain." After saying this, the goddess went to the Vindhya hills. Their goddess Yagamaya assumed many names. Below are the details of my other videos. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Sri Sri Gauranga.